Recorded Books presents Murder on an Irish Farm by Carlene O'Connor. Narrated by Caroline Lennon. To farmers and falconers. What fascinating worlds. Chapter 1. The big day was here, June 16, at 9:30 in the morning, in the village of Kilbane, County Cork, Ireland, where it seemed the entire town had flocked to St Mary's, the gorgeous collegiate church with the 5 light windows, to witness and celebrate the marriage of Detective Sergeant Macdara Flannery and Garda Siobhan O'Sullivan. And what a grand day it was! The sun was shining down on them, and the forecast was more of the same. Given their reception was going to be held outdoors at the remains of the Dominican Priory, or the Abbey, as most folks in Kilbane called it, Siobhan couldn't have asked for a better day. A day that took ages planning, and loads of money, would pass in the blink of an eye, but would be remembered and celebrated for the rest of their lives. I do. He would say it. She would say it. Siobhan O'Sullivan and Macdara Flannery would be wed in less than an hour. The Mr. and Mrs., herself and himself, the wedded bliss, thou ball and chain. Then, why did it not feel real? Hold still, Grania said, jerking Siobhan's head back and tightening her grip on Siobhan's auburn locks. Siobhan would have regretted allowing Grania to fix her up, but even the regret was futile. Saying no would have meant years of resentment from her younger, stylish sister. The dressing room in St Mary's was suffocating, and Grania had every inch crammed with sprays, brushes, gels, tweezers, perfumes, patches and pins. It was a full-on beauty assault. The emerald tiara, given to Siobhan by her siblings, was on top of her head, and secured with so many pins, Siobhan was half expecting to receive incoming messages from alien spacecrafts. She was probably going to have a mad headache before the day was done, but it was a stunning addition to her attire. And although the emeralds in the tiara were not real, the one in her engagement ring was. And so were the studs shining from her ears. They had belonged to her mam, Naomi O'Sullivan. Something borrowed. And tucked into her bodice was a blue pin her father Liam had worn as a member of his hobby club, collecting and trading model trains. Something blue. This way, her parents were with her in spirit, and she knew they were looking down from heaven, and surely they were thrilled with the union. Siobhan O'Sullivan had made a lot of mistakes in her young life, and would continue to do so, but Macdara Flannery would never be one of them. It doesn't feel real. She felt a sharp pinch on the back of her arm and yelped. Grania laughed. How's it feel now, pet? Siobhan shook her head and stared at herself in the mirror, feeling beautiful, but wondering if the cosmetics were a little too much. She was terrified to ask her sister to ease up. She couldn't afford to get into a row. Make sure he still recognises me when you're done. She smiled to soften the message, in case Grania took the comment as a first strike. You look so good, he'll marry you anyway, Grania replied. Now sit still. Siobhan sighed, looked at her eyes, illuminated by dark lashes and eyeliner and shadow. They did look stunning, even if they belonged to someone else, someone with an affinity for glamour. Grania was trying to turn Siobhan into a version of herself. Siobhan's hair was in curls and piled on top of her head, with tendrils hanging down. She wasn't even wearing her wedding dress yet, and already the corset and tights alone were cutting into her skin. Perhaps they should have eloped after all. A short ceremony, in a comfortable dress, with a stop at the chipper, and she would have been happy out. Whoa, said Anne, the youngest O'Sullivan girl, as she careened into the tiny room, her emerald dress swirling around her heels as she came to an abrupt stop. Would you look at that? Siobhan was thinking the same thing about Anne as they studied each other in the mirror, through their heavily made-up eyes.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.